All right, before we go, I want to know how
Okay.
long does it take to scan a person?
Welcome to Maker Conversations. I'm Tiff Marchand, your host, and today we have Sam from Uncharted Customs as my special guest host. I interviewed Sam quite a while ago on Behind the Maker podcast, and I really wanted to hang out with him again because he's an amazing maker and he's always teaching people, and together we always are brainstorming and having fun, just trying to help each other succeed and help others. So super excited that Sam wanted to join me and had a ton of fun getting to know Dave from 3D DIY Dave. He is a very talented guy and seems to be able to balance a lot at once. He has a little bit of an addiction, I'd say, with his 3D printers, and I think that's awesome. And we didn't talk about it, which I'm shocked, but I do want to make sure we call out that he is a very big Star Wars nerd. So I hope you enjoy getting to know Dave. And if you'd like to join us on Patreon, I have a little brief interview that I did with Sam, just a quick catch up with him to see what he's up to and what his new adventures are going to be. So if you'd like to sign up for that, it's patreon.com/makerconversations. All right, now on with the show.
Look at that serious face he's got on his little picture. Very pensive.
Yes.
Oh, hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you
Oh,
sound
that's-
great. You were.
That is perfect.
Okay, great.
That's the gaming headset.
This is the gaming. Well, it's like an audio headset, but I use it for gaming, and I do use it for voiceovers for YouTube too.
Oh, it's great.
Oh, you were worried about your audio. It's so
I
crisp.
was. Yeah, this is my first invited onto a podcast thing, so I wanted to make sure I sounded all right. Yeah, you guys are popping my
Pop that
podcast cherry.
Yeah.
But it's smooth.
Yeah. It is
Thank
smooth
you.
though.
Do you prefer Dave or David?
Dave's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I prefer Dave. I think for a long time I was like, I don't care, but I think in ultimately I'm like Dave is better.
Yeah.
Feels more you. I'm the
I don't
same
blame you.
way. I'm Tiff, not Tiffany.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Sam, not Sammy. So
Yeah. Yep.
got
Oh, we all like our nicknames better.
That's right.
Well, yeah, welcome. Yeah, I asked Sam to join me to be my co-host. Thought it'd be fun to get to know you together because
Yeah.
I told him we met at Makers Camp, and I remember the reason that I followed you was because that you were doing the Makers collab with Luke.
Okay. Yeah. Uh-huh.
So for the Chubbs hand.
Yeah. I saw. Is this show going? Or are we still
yeah,
like,
we just go.
we just go? Oh, okay. Yeah. I remember I was in the tent, the forging tent,
Mhm.
and I was like, she looks familiar. I know I've seen her like on Instagram or somewhere, but
Somewhere.
I totally like forgot your handle. And
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
I know she does like painting stuff, but I forgot like your name. And then it was funny because you said the same thing to somebody else, and they're like, he's on Instagram too, right? Or something. And then it was just like, hey. So,
Yeah. That's what like at those things. I mean, and Sam was just at Workbench Con with us.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that people, like some right away. Like you're like, yes. But then other ones you're like, ooh, like you see them from across the room and like you make the eye contact and you're like, do I know their handle? Do I know their name? Like
the ongoing joke with me is that I look like 4 other Asian makers. So everyone confuses me with Bao.
yes.
Yeah, I can't remember how many times at Workbench Con I was like, I think I know that person.
Right.
Or they would talk to me and they're like, hey, I know you, but you
Yeah.
don't know me, or something like that. I'm like, all right, well, now we do.
Yeah, you see the faces, like you remember the projects, right? Or you remember the logo, right? Because it's
Right,
like something,
yeah.
it's like that's what we interact with. And the other thing is like you remember people's handles, but you don't remember their names. Right. And then it's just like I remember when I went to Maker Camp, the first person I saw there was Johnny Law. And he was just like, hey, Dave. And I'm like, oh no, I don't know who you are. And then he's like, okay, don't worry. And he like showed me a sticker. I'm like, oh my God, okay, hey, how's it going? Because like some people don't even show their faces on their accounts, right?
That's another thing.
Right.
That so many times people were were saying to me when we were in Atlanta that it's like, hey, I'm so and so. I'm like, oh, I didn't know what you looked like at all.
Yeah, and you'd be chatting with them for a long time, and you're just familiar with like who they are based on their work, right, or their hands, but not who they are. And I totally get that too.
I was definitely guilty of just being hands for a while. Well, because you're painting, so you want it up close, so people can see it happen. But
how do you feel like on your account when you finally changed, when you started showing yourself? Did you feel like you were getting more views and more like personal engagement and stuff?
More interaction for sure.
More interaction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Interaction just goes up. Like, I may not have like a ton of views on a reel because I don't make them to be kind of rewatchable. Mine are kind of like, here's a start, there's a finish, and then it's done. But like the engagement that I get, I freaking love it. Like I'm always chatting with people in the comments. That's one of my favorite parts. It's like just goofing around with people all day.
Yeah. So I've been helping some people with their accounts lately. And I always tell them like, try, if you're comfortable with it, get in front of the camera, because you are your brand and people will remember you. And even though you make like a resin table or like something, everybody else makes that kind of thing too. Maybe it's a little different, sure, but it's like they're going to remember your face versus remember that thing you're making.
Absolutely.
Unless it's super iconic, like
I mean,
like a big gigantic hand or something,
That's awesome. Well, we kind of just did the stalking scroll down to the beginning, and you've been into 3D printing for a while, huh?
Oh, on my account.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. I mean, I started in I started posting in like 2019, and I was 3D printing about maybe a year and a half before that.
Okay.
I was living in the city, and I had a job that was something I have a business during my day job.
You're from New York, right?
I'm from New York.
Yes, to clarify,
and I live in
city?
a tiny. Yes, the city. Right. I live in New York City. Well, I had lived in this like the outer boroughs of Queens, but I was just like, I was stuck creatively. I couldn't like do the stuff that I wanted to because of space. And here comes like 3D printing becoming more accessible. And I'm like, this is the coolest thing in the world. I've always dreamed of like a fabricator, as a kid, like something I'd just be like print and I'll just make it. So I'm like, I can find space for a 3D printer.
Right. There's a small footprint there.
Right. And then also I had space at work. It was like my business. So I'm like, I'm going to put something here. Like it's like completely random, but I could like watch it 3D print while I work during the day. So I learned to 3D print, and that's where I started. And then eventually it was like 3D printing is awesome, but you're limited to the size of your print bed. And I wanted to make bigger things. And yes, you could 3D print it, but it was like, it's much easier to like get a different kind of medium into it. So it's like wood, right? So I wanted to get into woodworking to build bigger things. And then I kind of like rolled into like how the two can be relatable, and how I can make 3D printed stuff designed with woodworking and create furniture based around the two. So I started a YouTube channel that has furniture, more specifically focused on furniture building, modern furniture and design, and how 3D printing can be in it. So like one thing would be like a coffee table, and then the legs would be 3D printed. Another thing would be a side table that I had that, the base was all 3D printed and the top was like a walnut. And then I tried to make it all like approachable too. So like, because I think for me, for that, the demographic was people who 3D printed and was thinking about doing what I did. And they didn't want to be overwhelmed with like all the power tools and stuff. So a lot of the projects were like one tool, or like, something that you could do like multiple different simple ways. And it was good. But then Instagram like kind of swallowed me, and I kind of like was like all like, I just did a lot of Instagram stuff, and I kind of neglected the YouTube for a little bit.
It happens.
Yeah.
It's easy and quick.
Your woodworking came after your 3D printing? Is that
it did.
what you were saying?
Yeah.
So you kind of just learned that recently.
Yeah, and I'm a pretty novice woodworker. I think that I'm one of those type of people that if I watch something, I can get like the gist of it. And I think like learning how to do other things in my life has taught me to learn kind of quickly and then figure things out on my own. So I kind of absorb information and then I could just kind of replicate it pretty quickly. So, and then also I understand the other thing of like premium tools and like really good tools can really like lower your skill level. And then like
They're
cheaper
made to be easy to
tools.
use. Yeah.
Yeah, cheaper tools and hand tools is like a higher skill level, right? So it's like
Right.
cheaper tool. Yeah. So I try to like invest in good tools and stuff. As you can see, like I buy just like a lot of different things. And I'm also
You can
capable of
brag
doing.
about it. You've got a bunch of
Yeah.
Fez tool. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got a little fest tools. I got CNC and I got like lasers. It's like it's a little. And then most recently, I was given some 3D scanners and stuff. So it's like I love tools. And I love collecting tools, and that's always been my personality is to like collect like hobbies and collect like tools and just be really obsessive in it, right? And then and just like learn everything I can about it. And then when someone asks me something, it's like, okay, like I could recall it up and be like, okay, we're gonna do that thing. Or I could do this. And then like then dive into the details of how to do that thing. So I like absorb like as much as I can, enough to remember it, but not enough that I know exactly what to do. But then when I have to do it, does that make
Comes to
sense?
you. No, it comes
Yeah,
to you.
no,
Yeah.
yeah. You just when you need when like you know it's there. So then when you actually need to do it, you'd be like, okay, I gotta look that up again. But then like figure out the actual details of it. So yeah, so yes, I long story. I did start woodworking pretty early on. I did have like an intro to woodworking in like middle school, you know, that was like a week long. And you guys make like
Oh,
you
only
make
a
like a
week.
derby car.
Okay.
You were
Right.
pulling it all back.
Yeah. Well,
That
no,
recall of his just came right back.
I was
No,
12 when I learned this.
no, I mean, I did not that kind of recall, but I remember doing it and I was like, this is awesome, right? And then like what later on in life, I'm like I remember like, oh, why didn't I continue doing that? And it was because like like they threw everything else at you, and I ended up going into art and photography and stuff because I really enjoyed that. And then I turned it into like my passion into work, and then it became business, and then
What
it
was your
became
business, if I can interrupt you and ask about that?
yeah. So I went to art school for photography, and after school I worked for a really well-known photo retouching company, and this is when like photography was transitioning to digital, and I was like one of the ones that really embraced that jump. And so then I did a lot of work on like magazines and advertising, and then I worked there for a couple of years, and then left and started my own business when I was like 25. And then that has been like running and operating a photo retouching business for the last 13 years. So I still run it. I still run that every day. And so that's like my main source of income and my job. And then that's kind of like you followed your passion and you did the work. And like everyone who says like, oh, follow your passion, it's like, yeah, okay, but it's like it becomes work, right? Like you love doing the thing you do, but then like there's doing the things you don't want to do with running a business, like accounting, hiring,
Right.
firing, like negotiations. It's just like that's a big mistake with people that go to art school, right? It's like they want to create art, but then it's like they don't teach you the business of art, and it's just like
no, they don't.
like marketing yourself. No. So like marketing yourself, selling yourself, advertising, like all that stuff. And it's like I like the work, but then like that's the other part is work, right? And then you do it long enough where it's like 13 years. It's just like the creativity is kind of like, you know, not really there. Like you've done it all. You did all those kind of things. So it's like it doesn't really interest you as much. And it's like you just kind of going through the motions. And that's when I was like, I need to find my creative outlet. And that's kind of where like I'm sharing stuff and I'm meeting other like creative people online and making new friends. And I feel like I'm in college. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
no, it is. It's so fun. I
was
just have that college feel. You're right.
Yeah. I was talking to my wife today and she's like, it's like you're in like late night labs, like goofing around, like making content and like doing these stupid things. And then most recently my posts have been really stupid. So which is making me have more fun and being more creative. So I'm enjoying it. I think it's showing too in the account, so it's good.
I love that I was harassing you the other day and somebody kind of defended you. And I was like,
what did you say? I don't remember.
I was like, oh, somebody has way too much time on their hands.
Oh yeah.
And the guy's like, no, not enough. Imagine what he could do if he had more time. I was like, no, I'm harassing him because it's hilarious.
No, it's true though. I mean, I have a I have a family.
That.
I'm like you, like we have a job, we have a family, and then late night you're like tired, but you want to do something for like the post the next day, or you have clients, right? Like I try really hard not to like sell any of my work or like do anything where like people are like, oh, can I have, more of those toothpaste things that you made? And I'm like, I don't want to post like, I don't want to keep making those and selling it and like shipping it and running to the post office for like a couple of bucks. It's just like, you'll enjoy it. And I'm like, and I always tell people, I'm like, here it's the model online for free. Here's some people that could print it for you. Like, I'll help you out, get it. But it's not, I'm trying to keep this as much as, keep it as fun as possible for as long as I can. But it's getting hard. It's getting really hard because like the recent stuff with the scanning and
so cool, by the way. And if you want to fill people in who aren't following yet, like what you just did.
So I just announced it today. It's the Maker Scans project. So I am going to be starting locally scanning makers and 3D scanning them. And then the scans will be uploaded online for free. And people can take those scans and collect your favorite makers and 3D print them or modify them, put their heads on different things for fun. Whatever you want, right? It's like the whole point is to be creative and fun with it. And then also like have a collection, right? Like I was saying, my obsessive compulsive way of collecting things. Like this is like, I'm going to collect these scans and post it online for everyone else to also collect what, their favorite makers or do whatever they want with it.
How does your wife feel about you having a collection of men and women just filling up your shelves?
Well, my wife's an artist too, right? So this is so like she understands because it's kind of like a fine art portrait series, right? Like where you would photograph musicians or whatever, right? But this is like, instead of the camera being the equipment, it's a 3D scanner, and the portraits are 3D scans of people, right? And then people can pose and do whatever they want. So I have plans on it, but it's like part of it is figuring out, like I want to do this for a couple of years, but it's going to be a ton of work, and like I'm going to need to be smart about it and figure out like sponsors and ways of like paying for me to actually travel around and go do this stuff. So like I have to actually take it seriously as a job, but I do want to keep it fun, right? So but what's really awesome is that there are people that are reaching out and wanting to support the cause and seeing what they want, like seeing if they could help in some way. So I'm going to try to like, which is another thing that's very difficult for me, is to divvy out responsibilities to other people in the community to help organize in other places of getting people together. Whereas like I tend to just control and do everything. So it's like, I want to have other people help. So, which the other thing is, if you have,
I think Sam can relate to you because we were literally just talking about that in the pre-show.
Okay.
About wanting to do everything yourself.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Like I was just telling her that I'm working on getting a website live. I've been doing this for a couple of years now and still don't have a website because it's been all social media driven. And I sat down a few nights ago to do it. And it was after working all day. And I was just like, I don't want to do this. So I literally need someone else to do it for me because I don't have the time. So I totally get that.
Yeah. I mean, also we're creatives, right? And we do it ourselves for everything. So it's just like learning to do something isn't hard. It's just learning, is having the time to do it. Right. Like I see other people who do this full time and it's just like, it's amazing. You guys get to do this all day and you have like all the time to do this. And it's just like, for me, I try to reserve half an hour a day just to create content or like to do a little something for the actual project that I'm doing. And then hopefully by the end of the week, I got like, I can't do math, like 3 hours, 4 hours done for that project. Right. Whereas other people can like, it's 4 hours in the day. They could just like knock out what I could do in a week or something.
I suffer from that same problem, but like watching Sam just work all day, and I'm like, oh, I just live vicariously through him.
I'm stoked, man. When I see people like
Yeah, I am
cranking things
too.
out, I'm just like, yeah, that's amazing. You know, like I want to do that, but then I'm like, my job pays too good that I can't get out of it.
But you're doing something that is creative. Now, granted, I know it's touch-ups and it can probably get boring and redundant.
Yeah.
But at least you're in software and you're creating and
Yeah,
you're doing something. Like that's
it's bearable. It's
yeah.
bearable.
And like you
It
said,
is.
you've got
Like a
your
better word.
3D printer. You just take it with you and watch it go.
Well, yes. Well, what's amazing is that I'm at home now. So like since the pandemic, I've been working.
Oh,
from
there you
home.
go.
And like, I mean, all my printers are there, so I could actually like jump back and forth. And like, if like I'm waiting on clients to respond, and it's like I got nothing to do, I usually go upstairs and hang out with my wife and my newborn, or like I'm like in the garage real quick shooting a stupid reel, and then I'm going back to work, right? Whereas if I was at work, I'm like, I cannot do any of the social media stuff that I've been doing. So that was kind of like the silver lining of like the pandemic was like giving me the ability to be online and connect with everyone and chat. And I think I spent I think we all spend like a lot of time during the day chatting on Instagram, like an unhealthy amount of time. Like putting like comments and DMs and video chats and like voice responses. Yeah, it's a lot.
Is it unhealthy or is it just the right amount?
I think it's unhealthy when
no, it is when you have to constantly keep picking it up.
Yeah, or it like interrupts something that you should be doing.
Yes.
That's not that, right? Then it's unhealthy, right? My wife is watching this. She's like, yeah, you're not talking to me enough.
So it looks like you've got a ton of 3D printers back there. I gotta know how many you have.
I'm actually losing count. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have there's 4 on the wall. There's 1, 2, 3, and then 4 down there, and then I have a new one that's off camera to the side over here, and then I have a really big one at work. That's like 12 inches by 12 inches by 24 inches. And the reason it's still at work is because it's huge. I have to literally take the freight elevator and put it on a flatbed truck and then get it here. And I just like, it's living there. I'm not going to move it.
Do you have other associates there, or is it just you?
So okay, at the start of the pandemic, we kept the office for like 7-8 months, and then we got a office mate, an architect, to take half the space. So we're splitting the rent, and also it's hard because the rent is so good for New York City. It's in Tribeca.
You don't want to let it go, right?
Yeah, it's insane. Like I tell everyone the rent, and they're like, "What? Like how much is it?" So we're still paying for it, and none of us are really there. But like every once in a while, if there's like a meeting or something, I go in, or if there's like a print job, I'll go in and print some stuff. And also our servers are there too. So
that's nice. If it's affordable enough and you can,
it's affordable for the locations. It's extremely affordable. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It's a topic of conversation whether or not
I'm sure it is. Yeah.
Like keep it going. Yeah. What do you guys got going on?
I got a laser coming tomorrow morning. I'm very excited. Yeah.
Which one did you end up getting?
I got the Boss Laser 70 watt, not the smallest, but like the one right above it. It's like the same cutting surface as Sam's Glowforge.
Okay.
But it's 70 watts. So
it's a CO2. Is that okay? Sweet.
Yep. I'm excited.
Yeah, and I just got a fiber laser like a couple days ago, so I'm in the process of learning that it's way more complicated than I'm used to.
Okay. Those are so cool. When you see people cut stuff and the smoke comes up and the light goes through it, that's like one of my favorite things to see.
Yeah, and it's just so fast, and it's just done. And I'm like, wow. And I don't really work with metal at all, but just being able to do little markings on things and just experimenting has been really cool.
Yeah, I've been seeing there's a knife designer, I think his name is Darian something, but he does knife etching on stuff, but he does like sticker bombs when people like put stickers on things and it completely covers up the surface. But he does the same thing, but he turns it into like a vector and does it on a knife. And it's like he sticker bomb etches the the entire blade and knife, and it's like the coolest like pop culture thing. But
I feel like I've seen these.
Yeah, the fiber lasers are cool. That's awesome. I love tools.
Yeah. Well, I think we can safely say that with all of what we can just see right now.
Yeah. I can't pick up the computer and show you the shop, but
So
you've seen my Instagram.
You've got laser and CNC as well.
I have the Ortor laser.
Mhm.
I bought it at the time just to mess around with, to see if it's something I get into, and I made like a whole box and setup, like table that wheels out, and then you could like take out the wasteboard and you can engrave rotary stuff on it.
Oh, nice.
But the thing is, like, I had wanted for it to cut clear acrylic, and it's like the one thing that I wanted to do that blue light, like diode lasers don't do, is to cut clear. And I'm just like, oh, because I had wanted to make all these like LED signs that you could see inside, and it only works with CO2. So that's like a big bummer for me. So I'm like, I haven't really utilized that as much as I should. But then I I got a Cricut there because I had wanted to get a custom t-shirt done. And then like the price of getting like t-shirts done was like the cost of a Cricut. And I was like, I'll just buy a Cricut, right? Like I just make my like one or two t-shirts as I go. But then like I have this like plotter that can do things. So that's been my life for the last like 2.5 years. When we moved out to Long Island and got a house, was like I had planned on getting a wood shop, but it was like we had an empty house, and it was just like, do we want to buy a $1,000 sofa, or do I build a sofa for like $200 and spend the rest on tools, right? So I convinced my wife, who was just like, yeah, just buy the tools and we'll build it. I'm like, okay, great. So I just like, that's where all the tools started happening. But now she's just like, no more tools. You got enough. Like,
and
it
you're
seems
like,
to be overtaking you.
Well, yeah. So like I got a Onefinity CNC.
Yep.
And
same team.
Yeah. I say we all have it. We all have it. We love it.
Yeah, that's right. Well, actually, you convinced me to get it.
I did.
So you, in my coffee at Maker Camp, was like, get the Onefinity, and I'm like, Onefinity, okay, I'll look into it. And then Mike's like, oh yeah. I'm like, oh, I didn't have space, and he's like, oh, I think they have like a wall mount for it. And I'm like, done. Like I went home that weekend. I think I got a tax refund that year, and I was like, oh shit, this is like big. Like, let me buy it.
I'm getting this.
Yeah. And then I ordered it, and it was like in like October probably, and
right,
I didn't get it.
Camp, probably.
Yeah, and I didn't get it until like January, late January this year. And I built it, and I was like doing upgrades to it, and I have all these projects ready for it. And then I joked around on a comment about this 3D scanner to the company that they had. It's called Shining 3D. In somebody's comment, I'm like, hey, sponsor me, right? And then the Shining 3D actually saw the comment, saw my page, DM'd me, and was like, send a proposal to our marketing team. And I'm like, okay. Googling how to write proposal. And then I saw how to write a proposal, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. So I just like typed out like who I was and what I want to do. And then I named off like 3 ideas that I had for projects that I had thought about if I had ever had a 3D scanner.
Yep.
And then before I knew it, they were like, okay, I'll talk to my people. We're going to send you out the scanner and this printer. I'm like, I didn't even ask for the printer. I'm like, I don't need a printer, like you guys. And they're like, oh no, we want you to like promote it. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, so they send out like,
I mean, they're not gonna not send you a printer. Come on.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, but I mean, like, it is a lot to like do, right? Like to review the stuff, because I didn't really want to do the printer, because I wanted to focus on the scanning and I wanted to get that going. But I mean, it's pretty cool, the printer. But it was like, so it's like $15,000 worth of like equipment. Gorgeous. And I feel obligated to like do the stuff that they want me to do, right? So like this whole time I'm like, okay, all my CNC projects are put on hold. Like I just have this brand new CNC just sitting there. Aww. I cut one thing on it, and like now I'm just like dedicating a lot of my time to like doing this this other project. So it's like, yeah, I have too many tools for me to actually utilize
For
right
one
now.
person.
Yeah. If I had more time, like I could definitely.
If we all had more time.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that long story to get around to it, that's what's going on. And I should be using the CNC a lot more.
What did you buy it for? Was it to cut the acrylic on?
I wanted to try it. Yeah. I
Yeah.
wanted to like experiment on that. There was like a shop sign that I wanted to do with my logo. There's a YouTube video that I wanted to do of making another side table with the CNC instead, similar to the table I built before, but just using the CNC to do like the chamfers on tables. So yeah, so I wanted to do that, and I've been trying to do that video for like 3 months now. so but the thing is, if Onefinity had sent that CNC like when it was scheduled to come, I would have like cranked all this stuff out. It's just like the delay of
the timing
with the pandemic and the shortage of everything. It just got super delayed, and now it's like everything's on top of each other. But you guys,
they've been backed up since before they even made the first.
It's a quality product. They don't pay me to say that, but it is.
I pre-ordered mine before they made it, and I think I ordered it in like the end of June of 2020, and I got it right before Christmas.
Yeah.
So
it was so simple.
Yeah.
Like it's so simple. Like the number of pieces, how sturdy it is. It's just a really brilliant machine.
It really is.
Yeah.
Onefinity, if you'd like to sponsor this episode.
That's right.
Come on over.
You got 3 testimonials.
Yeah,
that's right.
Right?
That's right. And then that's coming from a guy who only cut on it once. So
yeah.
Yeah, but like just the setup in general, like if you've ever had any other CNC, you know how it is. Like the hobbyist, it's 15, 16 hours of work to get it going. The Onefinity, it's like 15 minutes to get the bars where they need to be, and then maybe another 45 minutes of you putting the wires where you want them to be.
Right.
You know, like it's just finicky stuff.
Yeah, I had a little more work because I had to mount mine on the wall, right?
Yeah.
And then also, I feel like there aren't that many people who did what I did, and Will Be Designs did his recently, and he like disregarded all the rules and did it the way he wanted to do it. So I've been talking with him and helping him, and I sent him some stuff. But it's just like, for me, like I was like, I didn't want to cut a lot of stuff on it yet because I wanted to protect the Y rail on the bottom.
Yep.
So I created like this like dust shield on top. So like that's another reason I didn't cut on it, is because I was like doing improvements to the CNC, and then I was like doing like these like custom hose mounts for the sucket boot to work with my the Festool hoses, and then I had to create the ball joint blast gates that I did for my dust extraction system too. And I was like, let's cut some stuff. And it was like,
so you bought a Onefinity to play with your 3D printers is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. I definitely tinker more in the shop and like do shop improvement projects than I almost do building anything else, because it's like my thing is always like work on efficiency, because the more efficient you are with your space, like you remodeled your space, right? So it's like I
had to,
but like you feel like clean, like you feel more peace of mind, like you're like more efficient at working. Everything has a place, and you just, because like our time is precious to us, right? Like we only have 30 minutes a night to do it. So when you go in and do it, you just want to like bang it all out, right? You don't want to be like shuffling things around and then and then doing the work. So I'm always doing like shop improvements, projects, and organizing and efficiency stuff.
Your kid's gonna inherit such a wonderful workspace.
Yeah, he is.
All of our kids are so blessed to be able to have all these tools like right from infancy. It's like, hello, look at all these toys.
My kid is actually obsessed with Luke in the Garage.
Well, naturally.
It's because we talk a lot. So he actually like adopted his logo and did his name in the garage, and he has like the same sticker and everything. It's pretty funny.
That's so cute.
So he's ready for being in the shop. He's 6.
I was gonna say you have, yeah, I think you had the same age as my kids. Yeah.
Okay.
And then you have an infant.
Yeah. How about you, Sam? Do you have a?
I do. I have one daughter. She will
Okay.
be 3 in about 45-ish days, something like that.
Okay.
So,
That's a fun time.
yeah. She's quite a handful, and it's so funny the way that kids see what we're doing. And again, she's only almost 3, but she sees the tools that I'm using and things like that, even from my Instagram. Like my wife will watch them, and my daughter will want to watch them too. And so
oh my God,
when we're at the store and she sees like spray paint, she'll say that's daddy's, or things like that. And it's just crazy. She knows my logo. Like anytime she sees it, she goes, "That's daddy's work."
One thing I'm embarrassed to say is that my son, when he was like 4, he would borrow our phones and he would like turn on the camera and he'd be like, "So today I'm going to go do," and like he's like look, he's like pretending, he's like, "I made this today." He's like showing off his Legos, and it's just like, and he's recording it. I'm like, "Who are you recording that for?" He's like, "It's for you, Mom and Dad, like for you guys to watch later." So he's just like learning from me being an Instagrammer and like getting, and I'm like, "Oh, do I like that? I don't know if I like that at all." It's
my
like, it's
son,
weird.
Easton, Chase doesn't really care as much. He does like making videos for me and stuff, but Easton is like, drop the comments below. And I'm just like, I don't even say that. Like this kid knows from like watching YouTube. He's just like,
yeah. No, my kid is like, when am I gonna have my own account? And I'm just like, oh, he like wants a phone and he wants to like, record stuff and post it. And some of the stuff he does is like hilarious. Like there was one video where he was just like, "I'm gonna show you the toilet," and he showed the toilet and he's like, "Ew." And then he goes off, and I'm like, I mean, he would get views with that. Like, that would 100% get some likes. Like,
I mean, you should see some. There are children with huge YouTube channels, and
I don't know how I feel about it.
And
I just don't know.
And it's just like, wow.
Yeah,
it's crazy. They're even older kids and kids in school now. You ask them what they want to be. Kids want to be. They want to be on the internet. I mean, they want to be influencers. They want to be YouTube stars. And it's legitimate because they see it.
Yeah, my son watches guys on YouTube play video games, and it's just like it's like Twitch, right? And the other day he's like, "What do you want to do when he grows up?" And he's like, "I want to play video games." And I'm like, damn it, like that was not an option for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
That's
growing
not
up,
a career path.
like when he said that, I'm not like, no, I'm just like, yeah, legitimately, you can make a crap ton of money doing this if you're good and you're hilarious and you have a loyal following. Like you can make like millions of dollars on this. Like,
well, it's a different world, than we grew up with. Because if you said that to your parents, they would smack you across the head. Like, are you kidding me? Like, what? Yeah. No, there wasn't the internet like it is now.
Right.
So,
and also like you're in a place where parents actually understand that.
Yes, exactly. Right? Like that's real.
Yeah. Nuts.
When I go full time, I'm totally starting a YouTube channel with my kids. So
yeah,
totally.
I mean, Luke's kids are hilarious.
So are mine, man. We could have a comedy show together. It'd be great. No, he does. He shows me videos of his son too, like the ridiculous things he says and stuff. It's pretty funny. Yeah. I love it though. I know, like on Behind a Maker podcast, we used to talk about it all the time, but there's so many amazing guy makers out there who are fathers. And I just love seeing all of you guys and just like adore your children. It's really cool. Yeah.
It's really cool having them in the shop. I mean, it does suck in that, like, if you're trying to get stuff done, it takes forever. Right. Yeah. Or it's just like, hey, you're making something in the middle of it. They're like, let's make something else. You're just like, we just spent all this time doing this one thing. But yeah, you just go with it.
Do you guys ever see Wedding Crashers?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. When a kid wants a bicycle, make me a bicycle clown out of the balloons. My kids, every time I make them something, I'm like, here, look, I made them like a Jessie and like a dinosaur, right? And they're like, great, I want a jasmine and I want a shark. And I'm like, no, this is not like, my family and my husband too, like I still owe him. I do owe him something. I've been saying I'm gonna make it for like 2 years now. But like they think I just can like pump it out. Like the kids just expect it now. I'm like, oh, spoiled.
Yeah.
If only they knew all the time that goes into it.
Yeah.
It's like mommy could be making money, but here I am. No, but they are cool projects.
It's because they can see it all in 30 seconds online. It's done.
Yeah. Last Christmas, we made an ornament with my son because he wanted to make his own. And then he would like change up the design in the middle of it. And I have to do like serious problem solving to figure out like, how do we go back and do this thing and change this and do this stuff? It's like, yo, you did not mention this before we started. it was like I would try to talk to him like a client, like, hey, like this is some
this was not in our contract.
Yeah, this is some significant implications to our deadline here.
Oh boy, Dad.
Yeah. So it's all right.
Did you always know that you wanted to do like software editing or like photo touching?
Photoshop?
Yeah.
I had wanted to be a photographer for a long time. And I did do it. Like I was a photographer and a lot of my work was digitally manipulated. And then I would like show my book around to magazines, and then again, this was like during that time where like retouching was becoming a big deal. And they're like, "Oh, who's your retoucher?" And we're like, I am." And they're like, "Well, we don't need a photographer right now, but we need a retoucher." So it was just like all this work opportunity was coming to me as a retoucher.
Yeah.
So I would work at this company from like 9 to like 9 p.m. and then I'd go home and freelance from like 10 to like 3 in the morning. And then I would just like do that for like 2 years. And I was just like, I can't do it. I gotta like go off on my own, and I'll take like a loss in like salary, but like I'll be healthier, right? Because I was like, my health was going to shit because I wasn't getting enough sleep, and I was like stress eating all the time.
Yeah.
And I was working on the weekends, and I was like, but I was young, right? Like I was young and I was like broke and I was like hungry to be successful. And so then I just kind of fell into it. I kind of just kept going in that photo editing world and made a name for myself. And I have really loyal clients. And they keep me going. I don't have to really like, it's on autopilot now. Like I don't really need to like work hard at getting new clients. I get referrals and I have employees that help me with the work. And yeah, I'm really fortunate that like I put the hard work into it early on, and now it's like paying off. And obviously like it like gives me the opportunity to buy the toys that I like to play with now for like for my leisure. Like I feel like I'm that old retired guy that like who was like a doctor and now he's like getting into woodworking. You know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah. So those guys like they're
the midlife crisis.
Yeah. Instead of like buying a Ferrari, they're like buying all the festival tools and like doing the thing. I can't get all the festival tools right now, but it's like I feel that way.
I just turned 40, man. Yeah, exactly. I turned 40 and I bought a big laser. So it is, I guess, midlife crisis time. Let's go.
Yeah.
If not now, when?
I'm proud of my tool collection. I'm like, it's like, like I can build stuff. Like I could make whatever I want. I just don't have the time. No, but yeah. The other thing is it's filming. I feel like I've been more of a content creator than I have been a maker in the last like month or two. And it's just because I'm trying to like grow my follower count and just like work with sponsors who's been just sending me stuff. Mm-hmm. And like I want to support them because I love them. Because let's take a second to talk about like the brands that are in this community are amazing. Right.
I would love to. That's a big part of why I want to do this podcast, is also talk about brands that we work with.
Right. Like they're like, there's no other community like the woodworking community because of the people and the brands. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know what other community has brands that are like giveaways all the time, reach out to like creators and makers and be like, here, try our stuff. You don't even have to promote it. Just use it and let us know what you think. Yeah, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And there's like, but like for me, like when I get the stuff, I'm like, if I don't want the stuff, I'm like, I'm not going to take it. Like if I get it, I want to be like, I'm going to use this, and when I use it, I'm going to post about it. So yeah, the brands are amazing, and you just want to support them. And then I've been getting a lot of free stuff, and I just want to like make sure that they get like the right representation, because the stuff is really good.
Yeah, I hear you.
I chatted with Wall Control at Workbench Con, and I had brought up my room that I was remodeling it. I was, moving. I was trying to like level up my game and get that laser in here. And I mentioned how I just don't have the space. Like this is my space. So I'm like, I need the most efficient way to store something. And he's like, build a
Use the
cart,
walls.
let me know. I'll give you a code. And I was just like,
yeah,
thank you.
That's a quality product. The wall
it's
control.
amazing. Like it's ridiculous. It's so nice, and like blew me away. I like did the happy dance for days. Like I'm still doing the happy dance.
Well, I like, so I've been like chatting with a lot of makers on how to grow Instagram account, and then the other thing is how to organize your shop, because I organize my shop a lot, right? And I think about it constantly, and it's from the mentality of living in New York City for so long,
Small
and
spaces.
like small spaces, and how to utilize the most possible. And it's just like, you gotta use the walls, right? So wall control, French cleats, lumber storage racks, whatever you have, everything needs to get up on the wall and on the ceiling. Like once the walls are full, go up on the ceiling. Because I hear everyone's.
I'm totally doing that. I'm putting my air hose and stuff on the ceiling, my power cords. Yeah.
Whatever you can hang off of it, you could do it. I mean, as long as it's like properly anchored to the joist.
Yes. As long as you're not going to have a 40-pound device fall on your head.
Falling through.
Yeah.
I mean, if you need a swing in the room, like put a swing in the room if it's going to help you get your work done. You know what I mean? just as long as it's properly anchored to a joist.
Oh,
so
man.
sensible.
If I had a swing in my shop, I'd never get my daughter out of it.
Yeah. But maybe it will. Maybe it'll like distract her enough that you could get your work done.
Oh,
like
that's also true. It's also true.
Right.
I'm just seeing Sam in a swing doing like, oops, I did it again or something. Just like ridiculous.
My
doing some
son,
lip sync.
Yes.
My son has the womb swing. Have you seen that? It's like a sensory swing. It's not a womb thing. So it's just like the
netting.
Yeah, it's more of a like a sheet almost, but it's stretchy.
Okay. Yep.
But it's in his room, and he like goes in it, and like he'll read a book, and then he could cover himself around in it, and then he could like swing around and run around the room in it too.
It's
that's good.
Cool. That's cool. We'll have to get that link.
Not a sponsor, but they should sponsor.
How to occupy your child.
Right.
I could see you doing a good post on that one.
Yeah, that's another. Yeah, we should do another. Yeah, actually, that is a good post. I would say we should write a book on it. Like how to.
Here's some
woodworking
tips.
dads. Yeah. How to distract your kids when you can't use candy and ice cream anymore. What do you do?
When you've gotten the talking to too many times for giving that candy.
Yeah. And the doctor's like, no more. He's got diabetes. What do you do?
Yeah. Oh God. But yes. So what sponsors that you've worked with or haven't worked with that you're going for? I'm kind of curious. Like what have been your faves, and like what is your goal sponsor? Is there somebody that you've been eyeing?
I mean, so Shining 3D like is like out of the blue.
It's
the 3D
huge too.
It's
That's
huge.
cool.
It's huge. They're not like, none of these sponsors are paying me at the moment. At least I'm not trying to negotiate that, because I there were a few times where they're just like, oh, okay, like yeah, we'll just send you stuff. It was like we're waiting for me to be like, hey,
here are my fees.
Yeah, here's my terms and stuff, right? But what I found is just like, when you start doing that, you end up falling into the requirements, the contractual obligations and deadlines and stuff that you have to do. And I'm just trying to, like, again, like not make it not fun, right? Like I don't want to be stressed out with doing the thing that I like doing right now. And then at the same time also, it's like, I don't want to be doing this like doing what I'm doing now and taking that away from other people who can be earning a living from doing it either. So there is that guilt of it, but I'm also like there's no like what's the word I'm looking for? There's no like expectations from both parties. Like me, there's no expectation from the brand, and I'm fine with that right now. But and that's the same thing that's going on with Shining. So Shining's like, we're going to loan you the equipment for 3 months, and we understand that the project isn't going to get done in 3 months, and we'll just renew it afterwards. So I'm just like, okay, so I just kind of have to keep it going and keep utilizing it, and I'm going to try to like keep the scanner for as long as I can.
Yeah.
Convince them for me to keep it.
Wait. I'm kind of curious.
Yeah.
What things other than people are you planning on scanning?
So okay, so there is not jokes, like, right? Or like serious projects.
No, I'm fine with jokes too. I want to hear.
Okay. No, so there's this artist that passed away. He's a famous sculptor. And I'm working with the family to go and archive some of the work that he's done and preserve it. And there's some things in his private collection, as well as some things at a museum in DC. I forgot the museum, something with an H, like Hirschnell or Hirsch, but it's so that's one project that I'm going to try to do in soon. And then another project is there's a New York City graffiti miniature artist. I've shared him a couple of times. His name is Danny Cortez. So he makes these miniatures and he sells them, and he actually has a show in the Sotheby's right now with hip hop. And he just basically makes like miniature like ice box from the city, and it's like iconic, and then he'll like tag it up, and it's just like this tiny little thing. So he had gifted me a door back there. You see it right here. And then but you can see it in my posts. So my thing with him right now is I want to help him do kind of mass production of his work. And part of it is like he intricately builds these things, and I've been like convincing him to like get a 3D printer. So he kind of got a resin printer now. So now we're going to try to do is like 3D scan some of his subway cars that he makes, and we're going to 3D print the car, and then he could just paint it, right?
Yeah.
So instead of having to build the car, so you could 3D print the stuff. So
that would be huge.
Yeah. So I'm like trying to like help with that. Like I'm learning to get more detailed scans. So I'm learning how to use it, and then helping him with it, and just basically helping community with like stuff with 3D scanning. Like if anybody else has like, if anyone's listening and they have like a need for a 3D scanner and you live close by, like I'll try to help you and like document it and share it. That's the whole point of the thing, is to learn the capabilities of the scanner and how it could be applied to what we do as makers. Because it's, for the most part, 3D scanners have been a very industrial equipment, but it's getting more and more accessible. Maybe not the price point this is at, maybe for some people who are like as a business that you're building stuff, but it's useful. Like if you're a furniture restorer and you are like, you need to make a really like another leg of a furniture piece that's really ornate, and instead of carving it all out to match it exactly, you could scan it, 3D print it, and then create like a 3D print of the whole thing and make a mold of it. Or you can like, or 3D scan it and then have a like a CNC, like a was a 4-axis CNC, like carve it out, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, there's lots of different applications for it, and just gonna try to like figure it out as a maker and then share it with everyone else.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
that's really cool. I have no knowledge of 3D printing whatsoever, and before I got on here, probably less than an hour before we got on here, this is why I know devices are all listening to us. I saw a video of a guy scanning something 3-dimensionally, like a toy, and then printing it in a miniature for like, a diorama or something. And it was just like, yep, I knew this was going to happen. I was going to get 3D printing and scanning content before I got on here. It happened.
Yeah, they know. It's the neuro network.
My company does that kind of
really
stuff.
Cool.
I apologize.
I don't think I answered your question about the sponsors, because I went on a tangent again.
Oh, that's fine. I like tangents, but yes.
Who do I like? I like supporting family-owned businesses and local small mom and pop businesses. So I like Orca abrasives. Ooh, speaking of, they just sent me out some sanding discs. Ooh, sampler pack. They just came out with their own mesh sanding.
Oh, that's
pads.
awesome.
But this it's a really small like mom and pop shop, and they've been really kind to me. Also minority owned, so I like to support them. And he's like, he understands like where like sanding's moving to with the mesh.
Yeah.
So he's like getting in on it. Like that's smart. So shout out to Orca Abrasives. I like them. I mean, yeah. I mean, there's T9. They sent me out some stuff. There's one sponsor. I don't want to mention them yet because if something happens, I want it to be hilarious and a surprise.
Now I'm really curious, actually. But all right.
There is. Man, I'm getting put on the spot. I can't remember who I've worked with. But yeah, I mean, the brands are really great.
They're awesome. No, I've been very fortunate. Like when I first started, I never thought I'd be working with brands, and now I'm just like, bring on more brands, because I'm just getting more and more comfortable talking to people and learning how I can help them. Like it's all about having the right intentions and goals.
Yeah.
And
Montana.
It's really fun.
Montana just reached out to me, and I for the longest time, they're like their drill
bits,
like switchy thing.
Yep.
So they reached out to me, and I was like, yo, dude, like I can't tell you how long I've been meaning to get one of these things, because it's like when I'm going to go drill a thing and then screw it in, every time I do it, I'm kicking myself in the ass going like, why don't I have this Montana thing? Why don't I have this Montana thing? And then I'm mad the whole time I'm doing it. And then as soon as I'm done doing that thing, I forget it.
Yeah.
Right. It's just like, it's just like I'm done doing the task. Like my mind is like, I don't want to remember this trauma. So I forget it. Right. Of like, just like flip, like get the drill bit. Or I use
honestly, I can't get enough of that either. I would love to have one too. I don't have one.
Montana, if you're listening, if needs
I actually just followed them on the podcast page before I came on, and they followed back. So I'm feeling good about it.
Okay.
Feel like I might have one.
Yeah.
Soon. That's what.
No, yeah, they sent it out. They're sending it out, and I'm just like, this is like a company I want to work with.
Yeah.
And because they're smart, like I like companies and brands who like you could tell the people who work there are people who do what we do.
Yes.
Because they make things that are practical for what we do. Right.
Yep.
If it's like, if you don't understand it, you're not going to make anything that people really want. So
they're coming with solutions. That's what all the better companies are doing, like Microjig. Like Microjig,
yeah. There we go.
I went right to Microjig when I was thinking of coming to solutions, because like they keep improving and they keep coming out with different tools to help people stay safe, and be more comfortable. Like I'm sure people are using table saws that probably wouldn't have. They didn't have that tool, but now that they know it's a little bit safer and they can maneuver it.
It's so smart. And also the accessories and things that they have. So they are a sponsor of mine. Like I have an affiliate with them. And their affiliate program is like amazing.
What's your code?
It's just a link. So if you go to my profile, guys, you could buy anything on the site and I get affiliate link. But I've been getting the affiliate, and then I've been letting it build up, and then I'm using the whatever affiliate link to get stuff, and then doing giveaways with it, because I obviously don't need the stuff. Like I have all the Microjig stuff, so I'm just using that to like basically do giveaways and give it out back out. That
helps. I said that helps the community right there.
Man,
yeah. People. I try.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, you really are. You definitely like to give back. I think that's really cool.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's just like, again, it's like I don't really like, I'm financially stable enough where it's just like I don't really need the commission from this thing. Like I rather someone who can get it, who like really wants to get into woodworking and can't afford it, and like get out there. So that's why like that's the other thing is with like the scanning project is like I want to like basically like showcase the makers who are contributing to everybody, right? Like the only requirement of being able to participate in the scanning project is you've had to have a social presence, and you've had to like give back to the community with showing like maker stuff, whether it's just inspiring people to make stuff, or like
The
showing
Friday
how
shout
to's
outs.
and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, like it's just like if you've been active in the community and like sharing and like influencing, then yeah, I'll scan you, you know, like let's do it.
I hope
it-
Sam from DIY Huntress reaches out to you because, you know, Long
She's in
Island
Long
buddies.
Island. Yeah.
I say she's in Long Island.
Yeah, I don't know her. I don't think we've DM'd each other at all, but I know
She's pretty great.
Ethan is friends with her.
Yeah.
Ethan Abrams, and so I'm sure we'll get something going on with her. But I messaged Jimmy in a message today to Resta. I want to scan him early on, because what I want to do is for next year's Maker Camp, I want to have a full size print of Jimmy there.
Oh, that'd be pretty
Yeah,
that'd be amazing.
and the way I want to do it is I'm gonna slice up the model in different pieces, and then I'm gonna send it out online, and everyone has a piece, and everyone could print a part in whatever color or whatever, sign it, and then send it back to me, and then we'll glue it all up together. So it's just like a big hot like mosaic full size
really
Jimmy. Yeah, so that he'll have it at Maker Camp, and that'll be like kind of like my booth where I get to like scan other makers there. Like they'll see what it's about. So that's yeah.
I thought you were gonna say that you're gonna make a toy of the, you know, toy maker, since that was one of his career.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, I remember he got a scan of him done like himself done a long time ago, and he sold it. So like I'm sure he's not unfamiliar with it at all. But
Getting it done.
Yeah, but I want one done of him. That'd be good. And then and a full size one, like printed up, so people get the idea of like you could blow one of these things up real big and be life size. It's also weird and creepy, but it's fine.
All right, before we go, I want to know, how long does it take to scan a person?
Yeah.
I am trying to find the best speed, because there's a lot of factors to the scan, because the scan has to track like as you're going, and it needs to find features. So if you have like a lot of features, the scan could go a lot quicker. If you're wearing a lot of black, it slows down. Hair has been an issue. Like you can't have dark hair. So like I'm actually going to like
screwed.
Yeah, well, so I'm gonna have to like get this special spray, like it's a dry shampoo spray that basically makes your hair like kind of white, or like costume spray.
I see.
So it's like it's temporary, so it like makes it so like it shines up a little bit more. So if you do all these things, I think I could get the scan down to about like 5 to 10 minutes. But if it doesn't go well, it could be like 20 minutes. And so I'm actually going to do a test this weekend with another maker who's coming in, and he's like bald. So I'm like, okay, well, that's good. I could just like not have to worry about hair. But like wearing hats is like easier. Like if you have a costume that has like a lot of like stuff around, that'll actually scan pretty quickly. But if you're like just like plain, like just like your skin or like a blank t-shirt, it actually has a hard time of like not knowing what's going on. Yeah, so I'm learning all of that and trying to figure out ways of like speeding the process along, because I want to be able to be at an event and like get each person done in like 5 minutes. Right.
Now, does it do the pattern that's on the shirt, or would it just come out as the shape of the shirt?
So the scanner I have has a texture pack, which actually shows like the color and like the like all the design and stuff, but I'm not gonna include that. I'm just gonna include the actual the model. Yeah, it's a bigger file, but it actually like, you know, like it has the color of my hat, and it actually has like this logo and everything. But if when I include mine, it's just gonna be textures, and you won't, like if you're wearing flannel, it's just gonna look like a shirt. It's not gonna be flannel. Yeah. Actually, flannel might be really difficult to scan because it might interpret the pattern differently. Again, this is like a learning curve, so I'm like, I have to figure it out.
I'm just imagining like your dress code that you're gonna provide to people as you get used to it. It's all gonna be fine-tuned, and you're like, here's your recommended outfit.
well, it's not recommended. It's more like color palettes, and like if you could wear like a hat or something, great. If you don't, that's fine. But be like aware that I'm gonna spray paint your hair white, and then unless you're like blonde or something. And then like glasses don't really work on it because like especially mine are clear. And then if you do like maybe sunglasses, I don't know. Like I gotta figure out a lot of stuff. And
You'll
then
have a costume trunk by the time this is over.
Yeah.
Dressing up right there.
People up.
I know. No, but I want people to come like if they're like a cosplayer, I kind of want them to be like wearing a stupid outfit, right? Like your models can be way more interesting than
That's
like
true.
someone else's.
No, it would be a lot more interesting if you're having like your character or something.
Yeah. There's some guys that are in like cosplayer in no, they're not Vegas. They're somewhere else, but they're like Iron Man, like they make Iron Man suits. Like the guy was just like a whole Iron Man build with his normal head. I was like, that looked really, dude. Even really cool.
People wearing their like workshop apron full of tools, like that's texture, that's character.
Yeah.
Like that'd be pretty neat.
Adrian, I kind of wanted her in
the dinosaur.
The dinosaur outfit.
I was like, I know where you're going right when you said that. I'm like, the dinosaur.
Yeah. I just have her stand there and just do like the big dinosaur outfit. Like that would be so funny. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining me, Sam. Thank you for joining me too. Like it's been a lot of fun just hanging out.
Thanks for letting me ramble, guys.
That's what we're here for. Just
to
record your rambles.
Yeah. I wish you all the best of luck with the podcast and the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me on as one of the first few guests.
Yeah.
And Sam, it's nice to meet you.
Yeah, you as well, man.
Yeah.
If you ever want to come back and you want to interview somebody, you let me know. I'm having fun just like having past guests on as hosts. I think it's a real blast.
Okay. Yeah. I'll be a co-host one day. Yeah. Hit me up.
Fun? Yeah. Like,
yeah.
I think
this is like hanging out. It's great.
It is.
I like
it is.
Yeah.
Great.
Definitely.
All right. Well, bye guys. Have a nice night.
Bye.
See ya.
All right. I hope you enjoyed getting to know Dave and hanging out with Sam. I had a great night and I look forward to hanging out with these guys in person again soon. So if you're looking for some cool events that are happening, there is Makers Camp coming up soon, and there's also Workbench Con coming next year. But there's also, I don't know if you guys know, Pine Bear and Palette Works and Sawdust Gypsy. They're throwing an event in New Jersey this September. So go check out their pages, because it's something that you're not going to want to miss. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm trying to get out there personally, and I'm just like super excited to see them pulling together and trying to have this fun event for makers to come out, hang out, sell what they're making, and just get to meet each other. So check that out. I just also launched my podcast at Sabretooth. So if you want to go ahead and make sure that you're following Sabretooth, I'll be posting there about 3 times a month with new episodes. We're going to have 2 single interviews and then a group interview, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I get to meet a ton of carvers and find out what they got into it, because I love Sabretooth. I love their products, and they're really built to last. And I want to talk to other people who are passionate about them like I am. So make sure to keep following along for that and all the fun things that I have going on. I've got some new products coming that are geared towards autism. I was just talking about it on my post recently, that I got a Boss laser, and I can't wait to see what I can do with it. It's literally sitting right behind me. I haven't really touched it yet, but I'm excited to get to know it. So thank you for following along. I really, really appreciate it. Make sure you're subscribed. We are on YouTube as well. So if you want to go check out YouTube, you'll find Maker Conversations there. Go ahead and subscribe there, and that way you can watch it visually if you want. All right. Have a great night. Bye. Or day, I guess.